None of y'all reminded me. Okay, now we're recording. So just some questions I've had and just things I've been seeing as our teams are like on fire. First of all, hi, hello. Can you all just like take recognition for what you guys all are doing? I hear all the time on posts like of you guys saying like what I'm doing or Britt's doing, but honestly, it has nothing to do with us and everything to do with you guys. And I know I said this in my team chat the other day, yesterday and today. So if you're in my downline, we hit $3.5 million in sales. That has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all, right? It has everything to do with you guys. I did not do that. You guys did that. So as you guys are sitting and thinking and trying to figure out like, what am I doing wrong? Or what am I doing? Or what am I not doing? Or this, that, or the other. I want you to take a step back and realize you're a part of something so much bigger. It is not just one person. And so I kind of want to start this talk on, I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about that belief within ourselves. And then I'm also going to talk about the value and devalue that goes on when you talk about certain things and pricing, right? That's everybody's like big thing that they always worry about is like, I don't like with the pricing. So I want to talk about that voice in our head that I always like to talk about. We call her Karen. Again, if anybody on our team is named Karen, I am not talking about you. This is just what we're going to call that inner voice. So that inner Karen in your head that is telling you that you aren't good enough or whatever they're telling you. I want, if you're not able to right this second, then sometime tonight, I want you to write down those thoughts. I want you to write them down. The reason I want you to write them down is because I want you to look at those and see how they make you feel, right? I want you to look at those. I want you to say, that's not me. That's that voice. And I want you to rip up that paper. Physically rip it up. I want you to write out, whether it be right this second or when we're done with this or sometime tonight, I want you to write down those thoughts that go through your head of telling you whether it be that you're not good enough or whether it be that people are going to make fun of you or whether it be that XYZ ABCD, whatever it is, right? Whatever it may be that is in your head or that your fear of what others are going to think about you or your fear of what you've heard or whatever it is, right? I want you to write it down. If you are allowing it to have space in your head, then I want you to write it down and make it a reality for you to read. The reason I want you to make it a reality for you to read is because I want you to see what those words actually look like on paper. And I want you to realize that that's not you. Right? Those words on that paper do not make up you. They don't make up your ability in this industry. They don't make up your ability as a human. They don't make up your ability as a mom or as a significant other or as a daughter or as a sister, whatever it is, right? Those words are words that have no meaning unless you give them meaning. The only way they're going to get that meaning is if you allow them to stay in your head and you start believing it. I have said this so many dang times. So as you're ripping it up, I want you to realize that when you're ripping that up, you're getting rid of it from your brain, right? You're probably like, well, no, because it's just ripping it up. But I literally want you to, in your head, you visualize taking them out and throwing them away and ripping those words up. Because if you are not willing to bet on yourself, if you're not willing to stand up for yourself, if you're not willing to believe in yourself, how do you expect somebody else to? It starts with you. You are a part of something so much bigger, but that so much bigger, this big team that we have, it has little pieces and each of us are those little pieces. And if one of us is going to believe those words, if one of us is going to allow that to downpour, then that person is now out of the bigger picture. Right? That person is now removing themselves and comparing themselves to other people. If last month you saw people winning and you were not one of them, right? If you were like, I'm not winning because I'm not hitting 4K. Why are you not winning? What's telling you that you're not winning? I say this so many times. You're not a liar, but you do lie to yourself. What you tell yourself is what you're going to believe. If you tell yourself that you can't, then you won't. I'm a firm believer. If I tell myself that I'm going to do something, I don't care if it's like hell and high water. I'm getting it done because I'm telling myself I'm going to do it. If I tell myself I can't do something, and I did this so often in nursing school, I'd be like, I'm going to fail that test. There's no point. And sure as shit, I would fail it. Right? If you don't tell yourself that you can do it, but you're waiting for like me to tell you that you can do it. It means nothing. Me sitting right here on a Zoom every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern religiously every single Monday telling you that you can do it means absolutely nothing if you also aren't telling yourself that you can do it. It means absolutely nothing coming from me if it's going in one ear and out the other. And if you're a mom and you have told your kids things before and you're like, they don't even listen to me. Like, why do I say it? There's no point in me saying it. Kind of sit back and take that into yourself. Obviously, we're not children and we're not anything like that. But I have had to literally sit back and have been like, wow, I can sit here and tell you guys to believe in yourself. And I can sit here and tell you this, and I can sit here and post a Pinterest quote, right? But at the end of the day, what is that doing for me? So at the end of the day, what is sitting here on this Zoom listening to my annoying voice, because y'all, I have the worst voice. Like, let me just tell you, I hate listening to my voice. But at the end of the day, listening to my voice every single Monday, why do you get on here if it's just to sit for 30 minutes and look at a screen? What is that doing for you? There are over 50 of us on here right now. And if every single one of us just sat here and didn't apply anything, or just sat here and continued to say like, yeah, okay, so I just spent 30 minutes on a Zoom, like our leadership is great, or our team is a community, this, that, or the other, but then you don't do anything with it. What is that doing for you? We call this self-development with a paycheck, but if you're not doing the self-development and you're just sitting here, what is that doing for you? Tomorrow, Tuesday, every week is our payday, right? If you do not like what you see tomorrow, one, I want you to remember that whether it be $5, $50, $500, $5,000, whatever it may be, every single time I get a check, I am thankful. My first paycheck, and I had a Zoom with two of my babes this morning, and I literally showed them my first paycheck, was, I think it was like $37.44. I might be off on the cents, but $37 and something cents. My first paycheck of December 12th, 2017 was $37. Tomorrow, I would have closed out almost $500,000 in commissions once tomorrow's commissions hit my account. $37 was my first check. Do you think that I looked at that and was like, oh my gosh, only $37? I looked at that and I was like, oh my gosh, in 3 years, that's going to be $3,000, right? I looked at that and I said, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to grow. Did I look at it and say, oh my gosh, only $37? No, because I made $37 for scrolling and being on social media. You are making money for being on your phone. You're going to do it anyway. So if tomorrow you at 1 p.m. Eastern, if you look at your phone and you're like, well, I want you to really ask yourself, when you're doing your IPAs, when you're showing up, are you just kind of going through the motion, or are you doing them? Because there's a difference. You can go through the motion and kind of be like, yeah, I'm going to follow people. Oh, okay, they're telling me on this IPA Zoom that on this work with me that I need to follow people on Instagram. Okay, there's 3 people I followed. Now what's the next IPA? Right? Or are you like, okay, they're doing it for 5 to 10 minutes right now. I'm going to follow for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to get as many as I can. Right? When there's no work with me Zooms, and you find yourself scrolling, are you like, okay, you know what? I'm scrolling. Let me go do something. Or are you just like, okay, I'm going to scroll, like I'm bored, yada, yada. But then you're going to message your enroller and say, what am I doing wrong? Or what's going on? And then we go and we look at your page and we're like, well, what are you doing? I will look at every single person on my downlines page when they ask me to. It doesn't matter if they're personally enrolled to me or not. If they shoot me a message and they say, hey, can you look at my page real quick? Absolutely. But I'm going to be very brutally honest, and they know it, that sorry, I'm trying to make sure that my Wi-Fi doesn't go out. Everyone being home, my Wi-Fi is like real trippy. So if my downline comes to me and they're like, hey, look at my page. If I go and I look at your page and I'm like, girl, you haven't posted in like 3 weeks. That's one of those things where when you say you're doing everything, are you doing everything, or are you telling yourself you're doing everything? Because when you say that you can't do something, you're not going to do it. It's the same thing where if you tell yourself you're doing everything, but you really aren't, you're going to believe it, right? And then when somebody comes to you and they're trying to hold your hand and help you and be like, hey girl, like we got to get a post up for you, or we got to do this, or we got to do that, or hey, let's work on this. But at the end of the day, you're like, I'm doing everything. Are you really? Or is that something you're telling yourself? Don't get into that comparison trap at the same time, though. Don't look at my social media and compare yourself to me. We are different books. And I've said this before, we are completely different books, not just chapters. Every single square on this Zoom is a different book. So yeah, you guys can have started at the same time and been in the same chapter, but whether you started on the exact same day, you're still different books. You could literally, somebody could have started on the exact same day as me and been in the, look at Em, she started a couple months before me and she's in the Millionaires Club. Do you think I could have been like, wow, like, oh, why not me? Why not this? Why not that? No, I cheer her on. And the day she hit Millionaires Club, I was screaming for her. We are different books. We could be the same rank. We could be bringing in the same volume, like not obviously not the same volume because we're under her, but like the same PPA volume daily. We could be having the same PV. It doesn't matter. What I'm doing has nothing to do with what you're doing. If you aren't willing to do your own work for what you want, and at the same time, do not set your goals off of what you think your enroller wants them to be. I'm gonna say it. If you come to me and I'm like, hey, what are your goals? And you're like, well, I think that I want to be here because this person's here. Or you're like, well, what do you think my goals should be? Baby girl, those are not my goals. They're your goals. If you tell me you want to thrive for free, guess what? Our goal together for you is thriving for free. If you tell me you want to be 4K, then guess what? Our goal together for you is going 4K. I will never tell you you aren't doing enough. And I will never tell you that your goals are not big enough. Ever. Who am I to say that for you? It's up to you. This is your business. What your enroller, what your leaders, what all of us are here to do is to give you the tools and the resources that we use to build every day. What you choose to do with them is on you. That's part of being a business owner. And it's time to take a little bit more responsibility for what we're doing or not doing. So as much as words have meanings, once you give them actions or once you put those meanings behind it, actions of doing IPAs, if you're only doing 5, if you're following 5 people on Instagram and you're like, well, how many should I be following? And I'm like, well, what are your goals? And you say, well, I don't know how many people should I be following? What do you follow? Don't ask me how many I follow because I would probably give you a heart attack. You'd be like, how do you find that many people? Right? Because if you're following 5 people and I'm following 105 people, you're going to be like, well, how do I do that? So start with your own goals and link arms with your leaders and say, this is my goal. This is where I want to be. This is my end goal. And then work together to make that into a weekly and a daily goal and make it fun. The minute that this, and I say that with so much heart, y'all, and I hope that you feel my heart when I say to make it fun. The minute this becomes unfun, the minute this becomes stressed and overwhelming is the minute you need to step back and say, is my goal or is my goal her goal? Am I saying because this girl over here is doing that's what I need to be doing? Not a single one of us will ever tell you you're not doing enough. Not a single one of us will ever tell you that you aren't where you're supposed to be. And not a single one of us will ever tell you that that this rank is not for you or this or that, or you didn't do this because you didn't do that. When you are meant to be somewhere, you will be there. Y'all, it took me 2.5 years to hit 200K, and half of y'all thought I was 200K from like a year and a half ago. I went 200K, and I remember Katie voice memoing me, and she was like, you're going to die at what Alex just said. And I was like, what? She was like, he thought you were 200K like all this entire time. Show up what you want to be. A rank is just a rank. Half the people had no idea what my rank even was. It doesn't matter. And I said this last week. I was like, when you're sharing stuff, people who are not in our company, if I put a 200K badge, they'd be like, what the heck does that mean? They'd be like, 200K of what? They'd be like, what does that stand for, right? People, is it amazing to have your rank? Of course, 4K, 12K, VIPs, whatever it is. But it does not, the rank does not give you you. The rank does not make you enough. The rank does not give you your worth. What's going to make you enough is yourself and that belief in yourself. What's going to give you that worth is you stepping back and saying, you know what? I'm worthy of this. This is my goal, and I'm going to show up every day till I get it. And knowing that your goal does not have an expiration date. I'm going to say that again. Your goal does not have an expiration date. If your goal is to go 4K, if your goal is to thrive for free, and you're saying, if I don't do it this month, I'm done. Y'all, stop letting the no's stop you from being here for that yes. If you stepped away every single time you said no, and it's like that popcorn effect, right? In the microwave, you're stopping and going and stopping and going. You're stepping away at that no when the next person would have been a yes or could have been a yes. So you are letting that one no or those 5 no's stop you from that one yes. And I can tell you right now, this entire everything that we have, to me, is worth 1,000,000 no's. I would hear 1,000,000 no's to hear that one yes. Because guess what? You're going to have that one 4K that's going to pop you to 12K. That one 12K that's going to pop you to 40. That 140 that's going to help you go 80. That 180 that's going to help you go 200. It takes one, but you're allowing all the no's of the people who aren't quite there yet and are like, you know what? Or are giving you those words that are in your head that you need to write down and rip up. And I really hope that all of you guys do that, because that one yes, you're limiting yourself from because you're afraid because of the 5 no's. If you hear 5 no's and you walk away, does that mean you're done with social media and you're never going to go on Instagram or Facebook again? Probably not. You're going to be on there. You're just not going to be sharing your business. And then you're going to be on there 100% for free, whether it be that you were making $1 every single week or $1,000 every single week. An extra dollar is an extra dollar that I didn't have before. And it's an extra dollar you're making for free on social media. Think about it. Don't allow that no to be the one that's going to say, you know what, this isn't for me. You're giving somebody else's decisions control over your life. And I know that I'm sure that you've heard this growing up, like people's choices don't follow what they're doing, or people's choices don't make or break you. Like you stand for you, right? It stands like that with your business. You are allowing somebody else to control your worth to yourself when you do that. And I can tell you, every single one of you on here right now is worth so much more than anything that is going on of that chatter in your head. I've talked about this. I'm sorry, I'm not checking the chat because my scroll brain is real hard right now, so I will check it in a second. But I was thinking about last year this time. I was thinking about last month this time. My personal downline is 65K over what they were this time last month. And last month was our highest month ever in this company. And I was thinking about this time last year and how I almost quit on myself. Not only myself, my entire team. And I take full responsibility for that, because I take what we do and I take my leadership role I don't want to say so serious, because it's my heart and it's my love, but I have so much passion for what I do and for each and every single one of you guys, that I realized this time last year when I was ready to quit, that I wouldn't have just been quitting on me. I would have been quitting on my team. I would have been quitting on those that trusted me and those that linked arms with me. So as much as it would have hurt me to quit on myself, if I would have quit a year ago and come back today, I would have been upset that I quit on every single one of you. And think about it. If you joined me within the last year, you probably wouldn't be here if I had said no, because I wouldn't be working my business. So think about it. In a year from now, when we're sitting on another Monday night Zoom, because I'm telling y'all, every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be right here. I don't care if it's like 20, 30, like 7. I don't know how old I'll be, but I'll be right here. In a year from now, with this 60 of us that are on here, there's going to be 120 of us, and 60 of them are going to be brand new that just joined it, that haven't even joined our team. Think about it. If you give up on yourself today because you feel like those words and that chatter is in your head and you're like, you know what, it's deciding my worth. That's it. You know what, that inner Karen that's talking, that's who I am. I don't care. It doesn't matter that for 26 years I've been a good person. That one moment of my anxiety and my depression, it's hitting me. And you know what? That's who I am. It doesn't matter what I've done for 26 years before this. I'm believing what's happening in my head right now. And I quit. Everything that you have worked for, everything that you are, you're allowing those couple moments. Instead of allowing yourself to kind of leave and to be like, you know what, this isn't for me, or those no's scare me, or this, that, or the other, I want you to take moments away and unplug. Unplug for moments. Unplug for things that you need. If you need a mental health day, unplug for your mental health day. Because taking those moments off and unplugging for that mental health day is going to save you from not having fun anymore, from not remembering why you're here. And then you're going to be like, you know what, this isn't for me. And then in a year from now, when there's 120 of us on here and those 60 babes are new, you're not going to be here. But you're still going to be following us on social media. You're going to see those pictures. You're going to be like, wow, I remember those Monday night Zooms and that like weird ass voice girl that always talks. Don't do that to yourself. You're worth so much more. So tonight, I really want, if you have not already, I want you to write down those voices and those words that go through your head. And I want you to rip them up. And I'm not talking about putting them in your phone and then deleting them. I literally want you to write them down. I want you to write them down. And I want you to literally rip that paper up and throw it in the trash. Because if writing those down don't make you emotional of like, wow, that hurts to see. That right there, that emotion of when you see it, if it doesn't bring you emotions, you should note that you are not that. And you can rewrite your own script. You just have to flip it in your head. The biggest critic you're ever going to have is yourself. The biggest person who is ever going to tell you you can't is yourself. Because I can tell you right now, somebody can tell me I can't, and I'm going to say, okay. I'll be like, I'll see you next year when I do it. You write what happens to you. You decide where your business is going. You decide when you've had enough of something. You decide your worth. You have to have that bulletproof mindset. But if you are not only doing the self-development, but applying the things that you're learning, why are you sitting on a Zoom for an hour or two every single week if you're not willing to put in the work behind it? I don't know about y'all, but I'm exhausted. But I'm exhausted with a purpose. So I will be on this Zoom whether I'm exhausted or not, because I have a purpose and it's so much bigger than just me. It's a big, big picture, and every single one of you guys are a part of that picture. And in a year from now, when we double in size or triple in size, because the rate we're moving, y'all, I want every single one of you guys to still be here to where our picture isn't just this big, it's double and triple this. It's not about a rank. It's not about that dollar sign. It's about what's in here and what's in here. And it's about building what's in here. Because when you tell yourself you can't, or you tell yourself you can, that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's kind of what I had for that. Sorry, I went a little bit over, a little bit overboard of like owning that, but it was really on my heart if you couldn't tell. But I do want to have one little chat, and then I'm going to pass it off to Krissa if she still wants to add a little something. I think she does. So let me just I want to talk about the value of the price of our products and our promoter packs, and then I'll let Krissa end it for us. So and I think I saw Rochelle on here, so I'm going to use you as an example, baby. I hope you don't mind. But I know you don't, so that's why I'm doing it. So I want to talk about the value of promoter packs and the value of not making decisions for people. And I'm not saying that Rochelle did this, so I shouldn't have started with you doing that, but I'm just going to use you as an example later on in it. I'm going to use our three-way chat in a little bit. So I want you to really think about for a second, and I want you to say if you have ever looked at somebody's social media and decided that, you know what, they can't afford our packs. Have you ever looked at somebody's social media and been like, this isn't for them. That's a little weird. Or, I don't think this is it. Or, I'm going to offer them $100 pack instead of the $200 because I feel like it wouldn't work for them. Or you're having a conversation and they start talking about budget and you automatically are like, our packs are going to scare them. If you have ever thought that, one, it's normal. I'm not bashing or saying like, oh, shame on you. Like, no, it's normal. It's part of growing your business, but it's also part of operating out of fear. And I want to talk about how to stop operating out of that fear of the dollar of our products and how to add value to it instead of operating out of fear, but operating out of the value that we offer. So for me, I used to, if you've been around for a while, then you know I used to only offer like the $200 pack. I was like, I'm just going to offer that because it's the cheapest and I feel like that's the best way to go. Well, about a year ago, I started offering all three when people would ask me, right? And I can put, when Krista takes over, I'll put in the chat what I say with my my promoter pack option, so that way you guys can see if you haven't seen it in a while. But I'm going to read it to you. I save it in my phone, and y'all know I don't do scripts. Y'all know we don't copy and paste. Y'all know like that's just not how we roll around here. If it comes to your heart, you should say it. And I'm never going to tell you that you said something wrong because this is your dang business. You can never say anything wrong. We know that too. But I am going to tell you that I copy and paste my promoter pack options just because there's only so many ways that I personally can say this. So when somebody asks me what I do, I talk to them about what I do, right? I don't have any copy and paste like script of anything. But when they ask me like, how much does it cost? I say this. And again, when Krista takes over, I'll copy and paste it into the chat for you guys. I say this, I say, we have 3 pack options for getting started. $200 pack gets you 1 month of our main product line, which is our 3-step system. $400 packs gets you 3 months of the 3-step system, 1 free product of your choice, and 10 promo codes for your customers to sample the products, which is $250 profit for you right there. Or $800 pack gets you almost 6 months of 3 steps, 2 free products of your choice, 20 promo codes for your customers, which is $500 in profit, and you were paid as a 200K, aka our top rank, for 4 months. That is what I send. And I send it with confidence. The reason I do that is because I will never, ever decide for somebody what they can or can't do. I let them tell me. So I send that to them. And ever since I started doing that, and if you have not watched, if you've not read Eric Ward's GoPro, he talks a lot, and I've done a training on this about a year ago, so I'm just going to kind of like briefly talk about this. He talks a lot about the power of 3. Giving 3 options. When you give the 3 options, when you look at 3 options, you think, okay, that one's the least expensive. I don't want to come off as cheap, right? That one's really high. I don't want to come off as bougie. So the middle one works. That seems like a common ground. Ever since I've been giving the 3 options, 8 out of 10 promoters enroll on a $400 pack. I get asked all the time, how do you enroll so many $400 packs? It's not because I'm doing anything different. It's because I'm giving them the info and I'm letting them tell me what they want. If they come back to me and they say, you know what, those are kind of out of my price range, then I message them back and I either say, depending on if I have product credits or not, right? Or just depending on the situation. One, I'll message them back and I'll say, what kind of budget are you working with? Let's see if we can do anything. That's one way. And then they come back to you. If they tell me that their budget is $25, well, there's really nothing I can do about that. So I tell them, I say, okay, thank you so much. Like, let me know. I'll be here whenever you're ready. Like, see if maybe in a couple months this works for you, right? Because let's be realistic. I want people to enroll and I want them to invest in themselves, but also invest in this business because it is a great investment and it shows value. Another thing is if I don't have product credits, right, I will 100% just say, no worries. Like, I'm here if you have any other questions. I am not afraid, and I will never devalue our promoter packs, because when people think on it and they sit there, I have had multiple people come back to me and they were like, they couldn't afford the $200 pack, but they came back to me a month later for the $400 pack because they saved and they had the options and that's what they wanted. And guess what? They ran like wildfire. Not because we were trying as fast as we could to get them into the system, but because it was on their time when they were ready. When someone invests in themselves, they are more willing to put in the work and more likely to run like their booty is on fire. Why? Because if I just when I started this, I didn't have the money to start. So when I had the money, when I paid for my $200 pack, I started on the $200 pack, and people ask me all the time, what pack did you start with? And I tell them the truth. I say, I started with the $200 pack, and then I went back a week later and bought the $800 pack because I really wanted to be paid as a 200K because I was running. I'm honest. And they're like, so you paid like $1,000? And I'm like, I did within the matter of a week, but I made my VIP money. So once I got paid my VIP money, I reinvested it into the $800 pack. I am so brutally honest with people when they ask me these questions, because to me, if I'm going to tell somebody, oh, I enrolled on the $400 pack, but really you enrolled on the $200 pack, in like a year from now when we're all on here and you're leading a Zoom and you're talking about how you enrolled on the $200 pack and your promoter that you enrolled, and they're like, wait, what? Like, think about it. Be so transparently honest, if that's even how you say that word, but be so honest and transparent that if when you're leading a Zoom in a year from now, when I'm sitting back and I'm learning from you, that it's nothing but the truth of your journey. Do not be afraid to say, I joined on this, but my most popular pack is a $400 pack, because it is, honestly. And if you've enrolled through me and I'm your personally enrolled sponsor, probably most of you guys did the $400 pack. And I don't lie about it. I say that is my most common one. But the thing is, I give them the options. The more you're willing to give options, the more they're willing to listen to have that conversation. So now I'm going to pull in Rochelle, our conversation. So she had messaged me because she was like, this person really wanted to do the $150 pack, but they're kind of lost on the website. Can you help me? And I said, 100%. So she put me in a 3-way chat with her and her promoter, and we were talking, and I go, did you give her the pack option? She was like, no, I just told her about the 150. Well, her now promoter who enrolled had over $300 in her cart ready to check out. And I was like, girlfriend, if you just do the $400 pack, like, you're going to get free product. You're going to get this, you're going to get, she had no idea about the $400 pack. Rochelle, I love you to death, but we literally have talked about this. Like, she had no idea. Rochelle literally messaged me. She goes, oh my gosh, that was my first $400 pack that I've enrolled. And I'm never not offering pack options. Don't decide for people. Allow them to decide for themselves. So I'm going to pass it off to Krista to kind of end it, and I'll put my verbiage. Do you guys want what I say in the chat? Do you want me to write that out for you? Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing heads nod. I just want to make sure. So I'll put that in the chat so that way you guys can kind of see it and kind of make your own version of it if you haven't, or if you're new. If you have been here for a little over a year, then it's the same I've always used. For like the last year, I haven't changed it, but I will add it in there. So let me unmute you, Krista. There you go, baby.
Hello. I just wanted to put it out there that I do use Lindsay's pack options too, and literally the majority of people I sign are 400 packs every single time. So I just wanted to say that. But anyways, so if you don't know, my name is Krista. I am a 40K under Brittany. I just hit 40K last month. Super exciting. But when she told me that she was sharing about like owning your own bullshit and getting past all of that, I was like, yeah, I have something to say. So I just wanted to put this out here that just a few months ago, I was struggling to maintain my 12K. Struggling. Like, what we were at the end of the month every month, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. We're pushing it. It always happened. We were cutting it close. But anyways, I was tired of living that life. And I know it sounds stupid, but I was living in this, I know we talk about it all the time, but I was living in this survival mode. This just getting maybe my 2 customers to get free product, just getting a couple $100 paychecks. And to me, that was survival mode. I didn't know how my cable was going to get paid, how my, utilities were going to get paid. I was tired of it. But the thing is, what I flipped was my mindset. Literally. It's the only thing that I changed from barely maintaining my 12K to hitting the month that I hit 40K last month. I think we ended like well over 50,000 in volume. I think right now, today, the 11th, we're well over 20,000. It's insane. And I swear on absolutely everything, there's no secret sauce. The only thing that I switched, the only thing that I leveled up every single day was my mindset. That's it. I showed up more. I poured into myself more. I made myself a priority, and I got over my bullshit. Like Brittany will tell you, she would check in on me. This was around the time that I was barely maintaining my 12K. She would check in on me, and she would critique me. Not, like in a loving way. Like, hey, Krista, I think this would help you. I think you need to show up here. I think you need to do this or do, and I would get mad. I know we've all been there. I know that whether Lindsay said, well, it's like if you say I'm not getting the results I want, she'll go to your page and be like, you've posted like twice in a month. You're gonna get mad. It's gonna hurt. It stings. I was pissed. Brittany got me a couple times, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this. But it was me. At the end of the day, it's me. It's not your team. It's not your customers. It's not your network. It is you. If you have people not wanting to purchase, if you say that you're stuck, your team don't work, your people on your Facebook aren't the ones, it's you. You're the one putting the energy out. You're the one putting the effort, half-ass effort at that, out there. You're the one that's not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're the one waking up and barely making ends meet with yourself. And I'm not talking money here. I'm talking about with yourself. You're barely pouring into yourself. You're just getting up and maybe you're doing your 3 steps. Maybe you're listening to a podcast and half-ass listening. Maybe you're talking to your team. Maybe you're talking to a couple people to try and sign them as a customer. You're not all in. And that's the problem. You can't expect someone else to order from you, join you, and be all in if you're not. So I'm telling you now, the only thing that I've switched is my mindset. Showing up, reading a book, getting out of my comfort zone, going live, all the things. I didn't do anything different that we don't share all the time. Do your IPAs, show up every day, share your steps. That is it. That's all I do every single day. Those compounded efforts, switching my mindset, pouring into myself, that's all I do. There is no secret sauce. There's nothing that Brittany or or Lindsay or Em has done differently to get to the top. Nothing. You think that they would just keep a secret, and there's like this one thing, this one word that you say to a customer and they sign. No, there's not. It's consistent action. Now, we have these little critiques that we share, like her pack options. When I started implementing that, I got more promoters. Like, there's things that we share all the time, but if you're just on here listening to post a picture or a boomerang on your stories and say you showed up to a Zoom and you're not implementing what we're suggesting, you're not pouring into yourself, it's not going to change. If you're barely showing up and you're living in this survival mode, you're just trying to make enough money to stress and pay your utility bill next week, you're not going to make it. You cannot go 40K if you're not showing up like a 40K. You have to do those actions now. You have to be ready now. You have to step out of your comfort zone now. So, and this is something that I shared on the work with me the other day too, but I want you to operate every day like it's the last day of the month. So every morning, I want you to get up and think that it is May 31st and you log into your back office and you scroll down. What volume do you see? Do you see 40,000? Did you just go 40K? So how do you feel? How does that make you feel? What actions are you going to take? How are you going to show up the next day because you're so pumped now that you're a 40K leader? That's how you get up and operate every single day. So I guess that was pretty much it. I just wanted to get on here. I know that you all don't usually hear from me. I just wanted to put it out there. And I just wanted to say, my team went 40K last month. I don't know what we're going to do this month, honestly. But it's just because we show up. It's just because we do the work. You have to put that work in. You have to pour into yourself. You have to come first. Your mind has to come first. You can't get where you're going. You can't keep your foot on the gas if you don't have somewhere to go. You don't just turn your GPS on and not put a location in, because if you're just sitting there holding the gas down, you're going to drive in circles. You don't have nowhere to go. So I want you all to figure out where you got to go. Write down a list and stick to your list. I don't care if you just have 3 things that you do every single day. Do them 100%. Show up for your family, for yourself, for your team 100% every single day. So that was it. I just wanted to share a little bit, jump on here and pour a little fire in just from my personal experience. So thanks for letting me on.
Thanks, babe. Actually, and it's so funny that you said that, because I remember when you were trying to maintain your 12K and Britt and I did like a giveaway where she did a one-on-one Zoom with one of my girls, and I did a one-on-one Zoom with one of her girls, and Krissa was the one who won it. And I remember telling her, and we were talking about it, and I was like, well, what do you do every day? And she couldn't really tell me something she did every single day. And just to see the growth is insane. So I just want to say I'm very proud of you and thank you for showing up every single day, because look at where you're at and we all thank you. And it's just something that none of us have anything different, right? None of us have anything special. None of us have anything that's a secret. Of course, we're all special, duh, but we don't have a secret that we're hiding. Like when people ask me, how do you do it? I don't know. I just do it. Half the time, I don't even know what I'm doing, y'all. When I say I literally just wake up and like, I just do it, I don't know. If somebody were to say, what's your business plan? I would show them my IPAs and I'd be like, you go, like, this is it. Happy, happy, happy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Because this isn't complicated. The only person who's making it complicated is that chatter in your head. And I want if there's one thing you take away from tonight, is that you are worth more than that chatter in your head. You are worth more than stopping something that is that one time gave you joy or one time gave you that fire just because you are tired today. Take today off. If you are exhausted and your brain hurts today and you're just like, you know what, I am way too tired for this, then I want you to take tomorrow morning completely off. Do self-development, pour into you, spend time with your family. Take tomorrow morning off. Guess what? Your business is not going to crash and fall. It's not going to burn. It's not going to fall from underneath you. Nothing. What is going to crash and burn is you, if you continue to let that chatter and you continue to tell yourself that you aren't doing enough, or what am I doing wrong, or this, that, or the other. If you continue to let that into your mind, then that is what's going to crash and burn, is you, not your business, but you. And I don't mean that in like, oh, you're going to crash and burn and like fail. No, I just mean personally, that mindset is going to crash and burn and you're going to want to walk away. It doesn't matter what anyone says to you. If you decide that you can't do something, you won't do it. I could tell you a secret that would make you a millionaire. If I had one, y'all, we would all be millionaires. Let me just tell you. But if there was a secret, right, I would share it with you. But even if somebody were to give you a secret and tell you exactly step by step what to do, if you don't do it, you're not going to be a millionaire. Like, I don't care. If your goal is 4K and we literally IPAs every single day and set up and work with you to go 4K, but you don't do it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter what comes out of my mouth every single Monday night if the Tuesday through Sunday is nothing and you're just waiting to sit on a Zoom for a boomerang for an hour on your social media. And if this is a community that you just want community and you don't want 4K, 12K, whatever K, or your Tuesday doesn't matter to you, that is fine too. We are here for a community, but then do not complain when Tuesday comes around and you're like, my community didn't pay me. Because I'm sorry, I'm not writing your check. You're writing your check. And if you want tomorrow to be different, next Tuesday, if you want the following Tuesday to be different, I need you to look in the mirror and I need you to decide that you want it to be different. Because me telling you, oh, let's go make it different means nothing, because the only check I can change is my own and Rob's. Well, because I run his account. So that's literally the only checks I'm in control of. And my mom's, I won't lie, I have 3 accounts. But those are literally the only accounts that I have control of. Every other Tuesday is you. If you want more, whether it be you want to thrive for free, or whether you want more customers, or whether you want more promoters, go and do that impact. But that impact starts with yourself. It starts in here. So if you are exhausted tonight, if you're like me, I'm exhausted with a purpose, though I'm not taking tomorrow off because I'm just always exhausted with a purpose. Y'all, with a team like this, it's real hard to not have like this passion. And I just like wake up and I'm like, okay, let's go. It's scary some days. But if you are not like me and you need to take the time off, take it off. I'm not even your boss. And I'm like I'm like, yes, girl, take it off. Go do you. Because if you're going to run yourself ragged and you're going to sit there and it's going to eat at you and you're like, this isn't fun anymore. Or if when a notification goes off on your phone for a team chat and you're like, this is so annoying. Guess what? Mute the chat. I'm giving you permission. Mute the chats. All of my chats are muted and I run half of them. Why? Because when I want to pour my energy into the chats and when I want to go and I want to check, and I check them regularly, but when I want to go and I want to do it, my energy is ready to go do that. It's not because my phone is lighting up a million times. Literally, my only notification on my phone right now is from my mother who texted me. But I can guarantee you there's notifications in the chats right now, but they don't pop up because my energy, when I want to go into the chats or when I want to go into the team page, that's where it's at. And that's my mindset. So if there's one thing that you guys take from tonight, it's to clean up that chatter in your head, write it down on a piece of paper, rip it up, and tell yourself that you can do it. But the only way it's going to happen is if you actually do it. Telling yourself and then the action behind it are two different things. So if it means that tomorrow morning you wake up and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take an extra hour, take that extra hour. Get yourself right, because a bulletproof mindset and a bulletproof anything of when someone tells you that this doesn't work, or someone tells you this, it's not going to crash and you're not going to burn. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of your Monday night and a great rest of your week. And we'll see you guys next Monday. Thank you, Krista, so much for hopping on and chatting with us. Bye, guys. Love y'all.